Crypto Frog in the area. Okay, we're going to do another stream. Don't believe their lies. The all-in podcast besties. They call themselves besties. What are they, like 12? I'm Crypto Frog. Welcome to another stream. I am just going to check this is all running correctly in just a moment. If you are new here, please subscribe. If you're watching live, please subscribe and click the bell for more content like this. I'm going to get into it about these, in my opinion, snake oil salesmen of the most disgraceful quality. Just my opinions backed up by videos. And thumbs up for the algorithm. It would be greatly appreciated. We must fight the algorithm. Otherwise, the All In podcast will be the #1 podcast in the world at this rate. Disclaimer, these are just all my opinions. And the opinions expressed within this stream/video are entirely my own. You may follow me on Twitter, CryptoFrog202. That would be wonderfully... Would be good if I... cleared my throat of the semen I ingested today. Jokes. CryptoFrog202. If you want to support the channel, Subscribe Star is available. Links in the video description below. I also have a Substack. I started a week ago and already have 4 Substacks for you. They are free of charge. Checking on the current cryptocurrency market cap, etc. The total crypto market cap is over $1.2 trillion now, and Bitcoin has just breached $28,000. Great! Okay, today we are going to be talking about the All In podcast. Involving mostly 4 of the same characters, so we'll be talking about them. They have 327,000 subscribers. Great. I am not one of them. As you can see, I am not clicking subscribe, but I've seen their videos in the past. Now, you can really get a good sense of what kind of guys these are by when their money is at risk, they throw their toys out of the pram, write tweets in all caps calling it DEFCON 1, and fortunately for them they have friends in powerful positions and they get out of it, but they do like to snigger at the small guy who had some money in FTX or whatever, or who gets wrecked at crypto, even though they pride themselves as being these tech entrepreneurs when all they really are like, in the case of Chamath in particular, the king of SPACs. We'll get more into SPACs later on. All they really are like crypto investors who get in the seed round 1. Shill their bags to investors, just my opinion, and then dump on retail. Aren't they a nice bunch of people?
Got a little friend here.
Now this is episode 119. It came out on March 12th, 2023, just as the Silicon Valley Bank, which presumably at least 2 of them had money in because they were losing their shit all over Twitter. And it's funny, this is one of the only ones where the Zoom went down for some reason. Probably because David Sacks and Jason C, I'll attempt to say his full name later, were having full-on panic attacks and are probably sweating profusely. If sweat can even come out of Jason's Botoxed forehead, but that's a question for another day. This is how like smug and... Oh, we're just one of the guys. I really don't like the way that David Sacks wears like a cap by Moncler. I mean, come on now. You might as well wear a fucking Gucci cap.
What? think I'm gonna start a new podcast,
Is that a bulldog?
and I'm gonna have.
Oh, we're just like me and you. We're just like you, the viewer. You got a bulldog.
Have a bulldog as my mascot?
You bought a bulldog? Oh my god, you got my mascot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that Jason C makes me want to fucking put my fist through a window, regardless of the pain and lacerations it would cause.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna take
god.
over your mascot.
Well, look at that. Now you're actually likable, Sacks.
Sacks, are you trying to improve your image?
None of you are likable.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Sacks is so unlikable.
Yeah, because Sacks is the only one who's supposedly a little bit to the right of actual loony lefty insanity. He is considered like unlikable, but he is unlikable.
That he has gotten a bulldog.
Oh my god, Sacks, show me his face again. Is it him or her?
Like, what's all this bullshit conversation? Who cares? Right, so let's get into the meat and gravy of this episode, because they start losing their shit. Go to one.
Okay, everybody, it's been a wild 36 hours here. We're going to get into Silicon Valley Bank imploding. The FDIC has shut down Silicon Valley Bank, and there's many different things we have to discuss. With me today, as always, the dictator himself, Chamath Palihapitiya, the Rain Man, David Sacks, and the Prince of Panic Attacks No More, his wire's cleared, David Friedberg, the Sultan of Science. Welcome, boys. How is everybody, just to start this off, contextually, the last 24 hours, can you recall a time in our careers where it's felt this acute or insane?
Where it's felt this acute and insane for them.
Or intense?
2008 and COVID.
Okay.
Nothing like 2008 for me, bro. Nothing like COVID for me, bro.
And I think that this is right up there. Could be 2, probably 3, in terms of the level of panic and concern. The problem is we're in the middle of it. We don't know what's going to happen this weekend, so...
But we do know what happened over the weekend, because they all got bailed out. And then they came back one episode later, and all of a sudden their Zoom stream was up and running again. Wonderful. So let's listen to Mr. Botox here talk about his intro.
All right, everybody, welcome to the All In Podcast. And with me again this week, the Sultan of Science, the Prince of Panic Attacks.
Oh my god, that guy. This guy with the lisp. I mean, if you're going to have a podcast, probably best not to have a guy who actually has one of the worst lisps I've ever heard in my life. And it's like listening to fingernails on a blackboard, listening to him talk. Oh my goodness.
The Queen of Quinoa, David Friedberg, the dictator, Chamath Palihapitiya.
I really don't like this smug mother. More on him in just a minute. He is Mr. Smug Arrogance, and he literally has very little to back up that smugness with. Fair enough, be smug if you're like actually good at something, but if all you're good at is like pontificating and saying long words and thinking you are insanely intelligent, when all you are a king of the smacks, bro.
Tia wearing a beautiful Mr. B sweater, and David Sacks,
He's one of us, you know. He's wearing a Mr. Beast sweater.
the Rain Man himself.
Thanks for coming to my Laura Piano dinner on Tuesday, Jacob.
That was
Love you for
wonderful, thanks.
He's just casually like munching on shit and looking away from the camera. He's just so chill. He's just like one of us, wearing his hoodie in his penthouse New York City office block.
At least one bestie showed up for you. Wonderful, wonderful dinner. I sat as far away from the Laura Piana people as possible in the arranged seating. Thank you for that. I guess maybe...
I mean, anyone who is over the age of 15 and refers to themselves as besties really need to take a look in the mirror. Like, you're all 50 to 60-year-old men and you're calling each other besties. Don't you see how, like, ridiculous that is? Look how... You got to see how, like, smiling and happy they are now. Yeah, we just got bailed out. It's brilliant.
Bernardo knows that put the all caps guy at the end, and I said, okay.
Yeah, he still hurt me. I was like, Chamath, what's the amuse-bouche?
Jake Al's joke at dinner, every time he said something, he yelled like he was in all caps. It was so funny. He's like, I want another butterscotch pudding!
God.
The butterscotch.
Can you imagine these guys at real life when they've had a couple of, Chateau de Perp or whatever, red wines that cost like $5,000 a bottle in a restaurant? Can you imagine like how annoying they'd be? Like, buttercup scotch pudding. Oh, you had two. You're such a maniac, bestie.
Pudding is delightful, Sean. Sean's like, I'm 4 feet away from you, Jake Al. You can take the caps lock.
Bro, he literally has a face full of Botox and fake teeth.
Sean was so embarrassed. Chef Sean crushed it. Sean crushed it
once again.
Come on, there he is, David frickin' Sacks. Mr. Right Wing himself, according to these guys, even though he's like pulling for Ron bleeding DeSantis. No, it's Trump's turn next, bro. Daddy's coming home. We don't want any more of your corporate bullshit, Republican uni-party bullshit.
Sounding alarms when the restaurant almost ran out of something.
He's just one of the dudes with his Moncler cap, and his $5 million tax evasion art piece behind him, allegedly. I don't know if that's really tax evasion.
Thing. Alert. Restaurant.
God, it's just intolerable, these bestie intros. Let's get into, now that they've been made whole by Miss Yellen. I'm presuming no one's put a wedding ring on that. Unless there is a male Helen Keller out there somewhere. Recapping the events of the past week.
All right, everybody, welcome to the pod, where we, try to inform you. We try to make some jokes here. I just want to make what is a little bit of an opening statement here. It's not an apology.
This guy, this Jason C. Calacanis or whatever his name was losing his shit on Twitter hardcore. He thought that he was going to zero. And on that particular week's podcast, all of a sudden, his face wasn't viewable. Probably because he was like munching Xanax bars for the entirety of it to keep his anxiety under control. But now it's all a joking matter. Thank you to the best buddies at the Federal Reserve and Ms. Yellen.
And it's not a victory lap in any way.
Yes, it is.
But there's been a lot of attention, I think, on the last episode of the pod and perhaps some tweeting from two of the four besties this past weekend.
Yeah, because you were losing your fucking shit. More on that in a minute.
And I saw, and I'll let you speak for yourself here, Sacks, and we're going to get into the timeline of...
If this was like some other bank in like Kentucky or whatever, they would give absolutely no shits. They'd probably be laughing at it. They'd probably be like, fucking rednecks got wrecked. What are they thinking putting their money in such a shady institution? But the fact that it's Silicon Valley Bank, they fucking lost their shit.
What's occurred, and then what are potential outcomes here and solutions to the banking issues that we've witnessed in what is a week since the bank run on.
Imagine priding yourself as being like these financial experts that come on every week and lord it over everyone, and you're such a retard. You put all your money in Silicon Valley Bank when even someone with an elementary degree of economics intelligence and someone who could read like financials would think, oh, they're on pretty fucking shaky ground there, especially with the Fed hiking rates as they are. But no, because they knew that if the time ever came, Miss Yellen and her buddies would come to the rescue.
On Silicon Valley Bank and the shutdown on Friday. But what I saw, and again, speaking only for myself here, was absolutely terrifying, up close, because you fucking had all your money in that bank, bro. And you were fucking gurning your face off Xanax. Personally. Allegedly. They're all billionaires. Don't
This is just my opinion and my speculation. I'm allowed to speculate.
Watching people pulling money out of banks and watching people have to set up loans to hit their payroll. And it's like one of
and
those...
they framed it like, oh, we're concerned that companies won't be able to make payroll. Don't buy that for a single second. You are worried about your own ass getting torched. Come on, be fair.
Real moments in a movie where like a meteor is coming towards Earth and you see it in the telescope and nobody else sees it, or only a small number of people in the observatory.
You obviously didn't see the meteor coming. The meteor probably like blacked out the sky by the time you saw it coming, bro. Fucking ridiculous.
And I think part of the reason people listen to this podcast is because we are insiders, and speaking again just for myself, I'm always trying to be...
Exactly, they are insiders. You know, in crypto, there's insiders. They always get the sweetest deal. And they get the private sale seed 1.0. These are the guys, but in terms of tech companies. And they're the lowest of the low, in my opinion. I can't stand them. Right, so this is a much earlier episode. Sorry you have to look at this guy's smug face as well. Probably joining us live from his $10,000 a night LA penthouse hotel room where he's going to entertain about 8 ladies of the night. That is just jokes. Jokes are allowed on YouTube. But did it happen?
Dick, you look a little grifty. Feel okay?
Yeah. Me?
Feel a little grifty. Are you okay? Fucking hell, the truth's coming out. You know, just massive.
I'm great.
You look $500,000 richer today.
You look $500,000 richer today. We're so much richer than you plebs. You look $500,000 richer today. $500,000, that's nothing. That's nothing.
What's it like to be $500,000 richer?
Jacob, you look like a failed hostage taker.
Oh my god, see, this is what I'm saying. Can you imagine these guys, imagine these 4 besties rocked up at like your dinner party. And they're like, oh, you only made $500,000 today, what fucking loser. Oh, you look like a hostage taker. And then you got the fucking Friedberg going, yes, I can't think of a joke, but when I do, it'll be really funny. God.
Laugh it up, boys. Laugh it up, boys. Laugh it up, boys. When you see my
Look at the state.
other projects drop...
Look at his face. Literally, there's not a crease in it. Let's have a look at his Wikipedia. Let's see how old he is. He is 52 years old. And he doesn't have a crease anywhere on his skin. Bro, go easy on the Botox and the fillers, bro. You're going to end up looking like Simon Cowell. Some would argue you already are. Do you see the Simon Cowell picture where it like looks like his face is like melted because he shoved so much filler in there? SMB says, let's be besties. Let's be beasties, he says, rather. Daddy Zanny. They would be screaming, stop the cap, if I was there. Anyway, these intros are intolerable.
You're crying again, okay?
I can't wait.
Why don't you take yes for an answer, J-Cal?
I've taken yes for an answer. Welcome to the All In Podcast with...
If 4 of them walked into any restaurant I was in, I'd just get up, even if I was mid-meal, and walk out. I'd say I don't want to be in the same room as these guys. Because you know they'd all be like chumming it up, laughing, having a good time. Anyway, this is them talking about the crypto collapse.
That's a perfect time to segue into crypto.
So let's remember, this came after the FTX debacle, of course. But see the change in tone where they were all like, this is the biggest crisis ever when it came to Silicon Valley Bank. But when it comes to crypto, these cutting-edge tech investors thought it was fucking hilarious.
Crypto. Bitcoin's price is down 71%. from the all-time
28K
high,
now.
69K in November of 2021, bottomed out at 17,000 or so.
Should have
on
slept.
June 18th, Ethereum's price down 78%. And if you look at the craziness, since the last all-in episode, this 3AC, 3 Arrow Capital, they're a crypto hedge fund that was letting people...
Oh, imagine if, an actual bank went down too. But no, this is just like funny.
People basically loan out their crypto. They are basically closing a $10 billion crypto hedge fund at its peak. They're insolvent, according to the...
Oh my god. Jason, you're letting it slip there, bro. See some crease action. Hello, is that the Botox Center? Yes, I would like the finest circumcised foreskin Botox lined up for me. Yes, I shall be there in 2 hours. Okay, I'll just have my chauffeur pick me up. I demand that my forehead look as smooth as a baby's bottom, which is ironic since you're using baby foreskins to do my Botox.
The reports, Terra Luna collapsed. The
Bit
founders
like
and employees at that company
Silicon
are not
Valley
being
Bank
allowed
then.
to leave South Korea. Doesn't mean they're guilty, but it's certainly not looking good. And there is a whole situation with Solana and a company built on top of it,
Solana shit.
which is not Solana. It's an application built on top of it. I talked to Vinny Lingham, our friend, earlier this week about it. They had a whale who had tried to loan out $100 million, and they had to freeze their account because they thought the downward pressure, since there was
They had to freeze their account. Decentralization. Solana.
not many buyers in crypto right now, could collapse Solana. So thoughts on crypto writ large? What is this going to look like, Sacks? Over the
It's
next
like
year
the
for
dot-com
crypto?
crash all over again. Basically, you had an extremely promising technology. It is a promising technology.
Of course,
and
yeah.
it is a future, technology platform, but
Look at him. He's like
price action got totally decoupled from the level of progress.
He's like
in the
almost
space,
like
and
smug.
people were not valuing these things based on real customers, real usage, and real use cases. But
No.
it became, very speculative.
Go
and
away.
again, all of this was fueled by the excess liquidity that was pumped into the system. So, we've said it before that
Bit like your shitty bank that you fucking lost your shit with. Alright, this is the FTX collapse with Coinbase CEO Brian Baldy Armstrong.
States is maybe not going to send weapons to Ukraine indefinitely, and Sacks, the United States is maybe not going to send weapons to Ukraine indefinitely.
Oh, that turned out like a prophetic claim there, Mr. Botox. As of November 2022, looks like they're not going to be sending any more weapons to Ukraine. Fast forward 4 months, still sending shitloads of weapons to Ukraine. In fact, sending more and more hardcore hardware to Ukraine. And lots of bucket loads of cash, taxpayer cash, straight into the bank account of Volodymyr Zelensky and his buddies.
And they're asking them to sit down and negotiate, something that people on the left started to do and got smashed for, something you've been pushing for. So I guess mini victory lap for you, Sacks. What's the end game here?
Well, yeah, I've been talking common sense about this for months. Just
Oh, you haven't been none of you talk common sense about absolutely anything, bros. Fucking shut up. All right, so this is about
We're
SBF.
probably running out of time with you because you said you had a hard stop. So let's ask the $1 million question. Tell us about SBF.
Like, I thought these guys were like such... I knew SBF was a massive scammer like 10 months ago, way before this shit went down. And these guys talk like no one ever knew there was an issue with SBF. Coming along and saying, I just want to make loads of money so I can give all of it away. Yeah, that definitely sounds on the level, bros.
Who is this character?
When did you first suspect
Yeah, what's your read on the psychology?
that this wasn't legit?
Oi, Friedberg, get back in your corner. Stop talking. They should just give him like signboards. Sorry, David, what were you saying there? I'm sure it was very enlightening. could you just write it down on the whiteboard and marker we have provided you with?
Do you think that it was his altruistic intent that allowed himself to convince himself to do this, or?
I think it's actually his, between the nose and the lip is incredibly long. So it really makes, every time he pronounces a word, his top lip must spring up, kind of like a horse when it wants some hay. Hence causing the sound every time he speaks.
You think this was like malicious the whole way, or what's your sense of the guy?
So again, I'm speculating here. I mean, I've spent time with him. I've met him a bunch of times, and I have to say, I did not see this coming. Like,
I did not see this guy coming. Like, never knew such thing would happen because, you know, he just rocks up in shorts and cargo shorts and that, off his tits on Adderall and all this kind of shit. And he's like a billionaire and he's got this FTT token and that's like 99% of his wealth. But I never saw it coming. And he kept saying like he wanted to give all his money to Joe Biden. And he said he wanted to give it to pump more coof vaccines into 3-month-old babies and that. I never saw it coming. I thought he just literally wanted to give literally all the money and just keep $10 for himself because he's such an altruistic guy. I never saw it coming.
He appeared to me to be a very bright, credible, competent person. Perhaps a bit young, perhaps...
Shut the fuck up, dude. Alright, so I'm going to go by not order of who I find most annoying, but I mean, I find all of them annoying and kind of like vultures in a way. But David Sacks pretends to be like the right of centre person on the podcast. Of course, they can only have one. But he is one of, in my opinion, the so-called PayPal mafia. He has invested in a bunch of companies that have pretty much gone to zero. He also got in early on Facebook, Uber, SpaceX, and Palantir and Airbnb. So presumably he's worth an awful lot of money. Now, it appears that he did come from a degree of money, but he went to Stanford University and Chicago School of Law. This is his Twitter here. Really annoying how they all have this all-in verified account. And he's a VC at Craft Ventures and bestie at All In Pod. And this is Craft Ventures, a venture fund dedicated to the craft of building great companies. Great, bro. So let's have a look at their portfolio. Why can't I find anything on here? This is Craft Ventures portfolio. Here we go. Adipar, a firm. I'm going to read out all the ones I've never heard of since. Adipar, a firm. Agent Sync. Probably because they got spacked or something like that and dumped into oblivion, not before David Sacks made an absolute crap ton of money. Arch, Autonomic, Avenue 8, Bbot, BitGo, Brud, Cabal, ClickUp, Cloud Trucks, Culture, 8 Sleep. Oh god, I could be all here fucking all day reading that shit. And this is a tweet by Mark Coholds. Is this you, David Sacks? If yes, you are not only full of shit, but you're a hypocrite who should be looked into. David Sacks seems like he was tipped off, then begged for bailout. As you know, Silicon Valley Bank was placed into receivership with the FDIC on Friday. On Thursday, we reacted to public reports that SVB might be in distress. Blah, blah, blah. We will keep you posted. Now, David Sacks did reply to this dude. And he's like, your business is short selling based on presumably public info, but if someone else moves bank accounts based on public reports, you accuse them of being tipped. So he is admitting that he had a bunch of money in Silicon Valley Bank. And now he's kind of saying like, oh, yeah, I didn't get tipped off because there was reports out. And then he goes on to say, you would simultaneously hold depositors liable while blaming them for getting their money out. That is a hypocrite. Oh, God. Right, Jason, who coincidentally has more wrinkles on his forehead when he was about 12 in this picture than he does now. Thanks to the power of Botox. And whatever else he shoves in his face. So, this was a tweet, one of many, where he was like, just when the shit was going down with Silicon Valley Bank, he was like losing his shit. Because he had presumably a load of money in there. And he was just, every tweet from him, I don't follow him because I'd rather maintain my brain cells, was like all in caps for like 24 hours full. He was going, DEFCON 1, this is DEFCON 1 in banking. You gotta do something, I'm gonna get wrecked. So this is one of such tweet. I could pull up like 40 of these. He was tweeting like every 5 minutes. Like his Xanax bar was not kicking in yet. You should be absolutely terrified right now. You, aka the plebs. That is the proper reaction to a bank run and contagion. Biden, who Jason can't get enough of slobbering all over his fucking penis, which probably last time he saw an erection was like 20 years ago. And Secretary Yellen must get on TV and guarantee all deposits up to 10 million. I wonder how much he had on Silicon Valley Bank. He must have had like $9,999,999.99. Or this will spiral into chaos. Fucking hell, what a wanker. Okay, so this is Jason Calacanis' Wikipedia. Of course, he's a liberal lefty, so it'll be like all clean and never did anything wrong. He's just a great guy in that. He was in the .com era and he made a bunch of money from weblogs or weblogs. And I think he sold it on for a horrendous amount of cash and then just got into the VC market and basically shilled that. Okay, let's move on to our man Chamath P. I'm not going to attempt to say his surname. Okay, I will. Palihapitiya. So this is, in case you don't know, the Sri Lankan born person who loves to talk about his humble upbringing and how he went from zero to absolute gazillionaire, and that's why you should like him, because he's such a nice guy. He came from Sri Lanka and built up all this money, and is now like dating hot chicks and going on playing poker for like $1 million hands and shit, and he's always bragging about how good he is at poker. Probably I'd be good at poker if I had unlimited money. I'd just bluff everyone forever, and if someone called my bluff, I'd be like, oh, I don't give a shit, I've got unlimited amount of money thanks to my SPACs. In case you don't know, Mr. Chamath here is this is a good one. So going back to Jason briefly, no wonder Jason was having a meltdown. Listen to this insane kickbacks he got. SVP clearly was not a bank which operated with risk measures in place. This is criminal. So let's take a listen to this. Jason Calacanis and Ryan Feet fireside chat. Then we'll get back to Chamath.
For coming, I want to thank Silicon Valley Bank. Thank you, Jeremy, for hosting us. Amazing space. Again, thanks for doing it with last notice. And I guess for founders in the room.
He looks a bit rougher than he does on the podcast. Bit of a heavy night, looks like.
If you don't already know Silicon Valley Bank, ecosystem, and they're way more than just a bank. They're
In the tech
services they
ecosystem,
provide.
you mean?
Yeah, if you're a tech startup.
Yeah, I mean,
That's Silicon Valley Bank.
that's my bank.
Yeah,
They're super nice to me.
yeah.
That's my bank. They're super nice to me. And you wonder why he was flipping the shit out.
Not surprising.
It was great. It was like, I was like, I'm buying a new house. And my partner Brian was like, you gotta talk to these Silicon Valley Bank people. Like, they really like to help founders. I was like, no, it's like my personal house. They're like, no, they help you with that too. I was like, really? It's like, I called Silicon Valley Bank. 8 people showed up at my house.
Yeah, I'll talk to Jeremy afterwards.
Bro. Oh, God. Is there a more unlikable person? I thought, to be honest, I thought Chamath was the most unlikable out of the 4. But I'm really thinking it's this Jason dude.
They did my mortgage.
Really?
And they did it in like 10 seconds. They were like, so what do you want, Jason? You want this? You want this? And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. I do the mortgage. And they come over to do the signing. And I come home, there's 8 people. I was like, is this normal? They're like, not exactly. This is private banking. This is this bank and this is bank. They brought everybody, an army of people, bottles of wine. We're cracking bottles of wine.
All right, back on track.
I love that Silicon Valley Bank. By the way, I just bought a 3,000 square foot loft to build my studio.
Oh my God. Don't you hate all these braggadocious motherfuckers? I can't stand them.
So I was like emailed Silicon Valley Bank. I was like, yeah, I just bought a 3,000 square foot loft in San Francisco to build a permanent studio. Like, let me get a 50-year mortgage with like this and this. Like, yeah, we got plenty of stuff. It's like, they're super supportive. They understand what founders are going through.
That host is like, shut the fuck up, you fucking retard. Anyway, that shows you. So let's get into Chamath Palihapitiya. The SPAC king is over it because he's milked everyone. In case you don't know what a SPAC is, essentially, it's like a blank check firm. They raise a bunch of cash, then they go public, and then merge with companies they buy. So basically, just put it in as simplest way as possible. It allows a private firm to go public without doing all the kind of backbreaking work of due diligence that you see with a normal traditional IPO. So that's how sketchy they are. And a lot of them end up going to absolute zero. Thanks to cats like Chamath Palihapitiya. He's the founder and co-executive of Social Capital. Anyway, so this is funny. Let's have a look at Yahoo Finance. Because I want to see what the price is now. But this is one of Chamath's SPACs. And this was him on CNBC 2 years ago. I'm not a huge fan of CNBC before you go on that route. But let's listen to part of this conversation, because he has to answer for why he gets involved in all these SPAC-related deals. Let's have a look for Clover. Maybe it might have been delisted already because it's so fucking shit. What's the ticker? Oi, where's it? Anyone know the Clover ticker? Oh, there we go. Checking out the stock price. Go away. Hit $16, almost $17. Current price 93 cents. Oh yeah, baby. Basically just a zombie company now. Even at the 1 year ago today, it was at $3.50. If you had bought 1 year ago today at $3.50, your stock would be worth 93 cents right now. Absolute dog shit.
Million questions, and we've now gone through the pros. I want to go through some of the cons and some of the big issues with this company. Let's just call a spade a spade. Right now, this is a money-losing company. It does not make money today, correct?
It doesn't matter, bro. It's a SPAC. I make fucking shit tons of cash. So shut the fuck up.
Still losing money?
On a per unit basis, on an operating margin basis, it is almost at break even in profitability. By 2023, we will have overall profitability.
By 2023. So what was the date of this actual interview? Let's have a look here. Where's this video posted? Anyway, 2 years ago. Let's have a look at what the price was 2 years ago. March 2021. $7.56. Current price 93 cents. By 2023, said it would be a profitable company.
Okay, so we still have to wait 4 years, though, or 3 years rather, for profitability. Big issue in terms of being able to compete with the big guys. I'm talking about Humana, United Health. The metric that investors look at in terms of success is MLR, medical loss ratio.
Look at his face. He doesn't give a shit. He's like, I've made my money, bro.
Great question. Out of the box, they're already meaningfully better. And what's great is their gross margins start better because they're a technology business, and we think it's going to get better and better over time. And the reason why is because they create transparency. They don't play games. They don't motivate doctors to upcode or do all kinds of things in order to get paid. They've created an extremely transparent and efficient business. So their gross margins out of the box are better, and we think they're going to continue to only get better relative to the companies like United and Humana.
Okay, and then we have to talk about the issue we always talk about, which is fees. And I know we went back and forth on this a couple weeks.
Dreadful. Basically, he's all about taking these SPACs to market, making absolute crap tons of money, and then dumping it all over retail. The retail investors dumb enough to buy SPACs anyway. Anyway, this is Mr. Chamath P.
Healed from your spanking at poker last week.
And here he is with his buddy Jason C. They can't get enough of each other. And now he's going to... Oh, God, some of the jokes in this are so freaking lame. But we'll get onto the Ponzi-nomics in a minute.
Oh, that was not fun. Jay Cal on tilt. But there was some good wine. And it was good to have you back.
Jay Cal is a melty little guy for the last 18 months. While I was healing myself, I was not at the poker game. He was running over everybody verbally. And I showed up, and for the first 15 minutes, all I did was literally tear everybody a new one. Just randomly.
Just right.
I mean, just destroying everything. The DoorDash guy was destroyed. Everybody was in a puddle. It was...
DoorDash. The DoorDash guy. Let's see how DoorDash is going. Because, you know, these guys hang around with all the best dudes. $59 as of the time of this. If you would have bought a year ago today, it would have been $107. So you have lost half of your investment. When was this video put up? The 18th of 2018. Anyway, it was over $200. Now it's $60. It's fucking dog shit.
Yeah, but yeah.
And then Jay Cal lost. When Jay Cal loses, he shuts up. He clams up. It's really quiet.
Jay Cal.
I'm very frustrated with myself when I make bad plays. I don't get frustrated by random...
Shut up. We don't care about your fucking lame-ass poker game. So he goes on about Chamath, why Silicon Valley is a Ponzi scheme.
Okay, right, everybody understands that. That's how a fund that invests in you works. That fund is getting paid fees every year. And
oh, he knows all about getting the fees, bro. Hundreds of millions of dollars in fees, bro. Thank you very much. In my back pocket.
And then carry at the back end if it works, okay? They come to you. They're like, we want to partner with you. You're the best.
Oh, God, he's so up his own arse. It's unbelievable.
We're going to help. You're so awesome. Have a fleece vest. It has our logo on it.
Oh, my God. I'm just cringing so hard. I'm cringing so hard I'm going to need more of J. Cal's Botox.
You know, we backed blah, blah, blah company. You know, right? That's the whole, that's the basic, that's the pitch. So you say yes.
I'm going to speak really slowly and look like I'm really digesting my thoughts before I speak. And then I'm going to say a bunch of really long words. And then I'm going to do a lame-ass joke. And you're all going to think I'm a freaking genius.
And then they give you, I'm just going to make up a number, $1 million. And you go to your first board meeting. How fast are you growing? How many of you have had these discussions? How fast are you growing? Okay.
How fast is clover growing, bro? Oh, this is another good one. This is actually a good video. Ugly truth about Chamath P. Manipulating investors. Because he also doesn't like manipulating investors via SPACs. Like these empty shell zombie companies that are essentially private firms that kind of like lay it in, so evolve. DD gets thrown out the window essentially.
Value in someone that they look up to or take advice from is authenticity. But
this is what he's going for. This is what he tries to be. Like all four of these dudes trying to be like, we're Mr. Authentic. Listen to us. We speak from a position of authority. We know what we're talking about. When all they are like grifters. They even said like, how's the grifting? You look particularly grifty today.
Chamath has virtually no authenticity because the things he says have little to do with what he personally believes in. Instead, he simply tells you exactly what you want to hear. He cleverly identifies trending investment topics and cynically positions himself squarely on the side of the retail investor. Likely one of the best examples of this positioning is with Tesla stock. By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with Tesla's insane run-up and eventual crash over the past few years. Much of this was caused by retail investors squeezing out short
Not gonna lie.
and pummel the stock.
I wish I would have aped Tesla at $100 on that big dip.
For years. So it was only natural that a sort of camaraderie and brotherhood was formed amongst these investors.
Anyway, long story short, like he was going on TV saying like, yeah, I'm long Tesla. I'm Tesla's going to go to like 5K or whatever like that. When secretly and eventually when the paperwork came out, he was going on TV, but all the same time he was doing this, he was selling massive positions in Tesla, which probably wouldn't surprise you. This is his company, in inverted commas, Social Capital. I often wonder whether he called it Social Capital, so when people do searches on it, all they get is a bunch of SJW bullshit, and they can't read about the actual dreadful company that he runs. I mean, it's good if you're in his favor. Chamath P's 4 blockbuster SPAC mergers have tumbled 32% this year as investors ditch flashy growth stocks. But here's the thing, they're flashy, but they don't grow. This was December 23, 2022, so well over a year ago now. Let's have a look at some of the SPACs that they mention here. Virgin Galactic. See how Virgin Galactic has been getting along all these years. I'm sure it's been crushing hard, yo. Let's have a look. Because they're going to the moon, baby. Rocket ship. I suggest you watch my video on Pompiliano. $4.16, baby. $4.16 in your face. All day, every day. All day, every day. $10, $10, $10. Start shilling. Went up to 44, 45 bucks. Currently $4.16. In the bag. In your pocket. $4.16 in your pocket. Clover Health, you also looked at that. Open Door. Let's check out Open Door. Social Capital SPAC. Brought to you by Chamath. Open Door Tech. Open your door to getting absolutely ragged. Please come in and rob my house in a financial sense. Okay, this in February of 2021 was 28 bucks. Currently $1.61. Oof! Yes! That is a solid win. What's his other one? SoFi. Let's check out SoFi. I'm sure this is crushing. Surely he can be 1 for 4, no? Surely. Come on, SoFi. Come on, you know you can do it, bros. Come on. You are... Chamath himself choseth you. Oh my god. Oh my god, bros. It hit 20 bucks and is now $5.46. At least if you had bought SoFi, you have had more money than if you had bought any more of Chamath's SPACs. But you are still a SPAC for investing in anything this guy puts his greasy mitts on. Yeah, he's a former Facebook executive, so he just milked that shit. A SPAC is a shell company that lists on the stock market with an intention of finding a target to merge with. They provide private companies that want to go public with a less costly and faster alternative, aka don't do much DD, to a traditional IPO. Wrecked! The tone is downbeat for social capital SPAC mergers to date. Healthcare company Clover Health has plunged 76% as of Tuesday's close, more now. And spaceflight company Virgin Galactic, Richard Branson, his secret little island there, is 38% lower, much lower today. Property website Open Doors dropped 35%, a lot more now. And then you got David Friedberg, who I like the medium of Twitter because I don't have to talk with my lisp. And he's basically got this TPB, Reimagine Earth. So he's on the climate change grift. What makes money better than solar panels? When you live in California and the California state government just gives you money for free. Do you have to build solar panel farms? Of course not. What are you talking about? We'd never do that shit, bro. And this is like David Friedberg, the billionaire entrepreneur who wants to save planet Earth. Do you get the... it's like SBF, the billionaire entrepreneur who wants to save planet Earth. SBF, the billionaire entrepreneur who wants to give all his money away. Can you see the griftonomics in play by all four of these cats? I really can't stand them. But disclaimer, these are my opinions and I've been showing you videos of their words to you. So there it is. Now, if you like my videos, consider becoming a subscribe star. Link is in the video description below. Consider becoming a subscriber of my Substack. I will be putting an article, a new one up there, later on today. Consider following me on Twitter, CryptoFrog202. And subscribe, click the bell, thumbs up the algorithm, and disclaimer, these are only my opinions, J. Cow, you Botox motherfucker, and Chamath P, Spat King, and David Sacks, Moncler, Greaseball, and Friedberg, the man with the worst voice in the history of podcasting. Okay, until we meet again, I'm Crypto Frog, and this is David Friedberg saying you should subscribe to Crypto Frog's YouTube channel and become subscribe star member because Crypto Frog only gets like $6 a month from you.